Rebellion.
Oh, it's been one that we've been anticipating for already the last few days because Shopify, they saw that last game. They might have thought that Sentinels could look a bit tasty, but they definitely wanted to stay in that upper bracket. They end up here anyways. And yeah, again, Breeze was quite the point of contention for Shopify going into this game. So again, Yoru is such a big surprise.
Yeah, especially with Shopify electing to ban out Breeze and the possibility we went to a third map
Exactly
against Cloud9.
that, yeah.
So they've pulled out kind of a big trick here against Sentinels, who themselves looked really good yesterday against the Guard. A lot of questions were answered about how they want to play, and it's slow. With this triple initiator, they will take their time in clearing out these angles.
Oh, and B-Dog on the front side already starting things off with a bang, and it's going to be taken around the corner with the Frenzy to potentially get a few more. And indeed, he does. He gets two, and he's out of there.
Gotta love the positioning on that wall. That wall just setting up Tig in a position like that where he can pop flash out and find an easy frag. And it's a risky position.
Whoa.
Tig looked a little bit weak yesterday in his first death department, getting targeted by Cloud9, but here he stayed alive and helped his team lock down the A site.
That's just the waiting game. Spike in front of him. Shazam going with the recon bolt alongside Tens with the crossfire. Very, very deadly. And Tens all the way on the open. He's gone. Shopify opening out right.
Great opening as well. Kind of building momentum. You have footage, I guess, of Sentinels playing Breeze, the one map that they have, and
right.
Shopify looked to be a very strong pistol team yesterday, and so to kick it off here and get the momentum underneath them, I mean, they played a very grueling best of 3 yesterday, losing out in what kind of was a critical one over push from Shopify, losing them out in that second map, and to be able to reset on the day here and open us up with calm, composure in the pistol round, it shows good signs for them.
Because of the pistols, I was thinking that maybe Sentinels could just be pulling off just one big push to kind of play out their lives, but they end up playing out the orb. They get the orb on the other side of the map over towards A. Regrouping back over in B. There's only one person here.
They
could actually work.
A lot of space here, Shopify, to Sentinels to work up mid, kind of funneling them into Dazzle's Marshall, where you can hit them with that one shot. Didn't spot Tens, and Dapper as well might have a little bit of an angle, but Dazzle there to double check. And now they kind of have the info where these players are leading. Gate crash already sent by Mata to the B site.
Good timing, by the way, off that gate crash. That CP for Mata was pulled out right before the mid peak was pulled out. Sentinels, again, they've ran out of options. They see the clone going by. Made any noise, though.
Electing to cut noise here. After getting spotted out now is Mata. 3 players already here, and even with the wall going up, it's not going to be a clean walk up because Moose is there to greet them.
Oh, and Moose is there for 3. A Prime Gaming flawless under the belts of Shopify. And that's huge because, again, we just have to focus up on that economy.
Yeah, so simple as well. I mean, already Shopify had that early read. They played a little bit further back on A. We're willing to kind of give up space towards A to have that stack towards B. And the Prime Game Flawless, they don't carry as many rifles over as we've seen teams typically pick up nowadays. They'll carry like a Vandal or a Phantom over. This time, just a Bulldog, so it's not going to be the full strength of a bonus round that you want where you have the additional rifles in hand. But Bulldog to work with for Tig. Shorty and the Headhunter for B-Dog. Not the worst of bonus rounds, and they can't pick this one up. I imagine Shopify, with his 4-man sack towards A, could find some damage, as already the knife is going to catch out Shroud, and B-Dog's going hunting.
B-Dog going so deep into A main, but he just gets a 1v1 against Shroud. Winning around the corner for an opportunity. Again, he needs someone behind him because you saw that footage back over towards tunnels. You had the Sova going up a bit.
We're kind of leaning now towards this A side. Ten's starting to shift on over. He typically plays these lurks and then we'll regroup with his team. Wall going up here, and the Owl Drone coming out as well. This is going to be Sentinels slowly but surely clearing the site, and B-Dog wanted to try and find a first blood here before they got on site, but he was denied the opportunity. Sentinels spike down, but pressure created here by Shopify doesn't give them a lot of room to get into back site.
Dazzle just needs to go big. He has a couple of opportunities here. Just one by one, the pixels start popping, but this is good here for Sentinels. Safe. Just waiting for Shopify to make the approach instead. That shock dart taking Celsius down to 3 HP. Here comes finally the flash from Mata. The exec through Tens. On his flank back, could easily get 1 or 2 here, and indeed picks up the first. The rest of Sentinels, they continue to battle out for A main. The wall goes up. That's a really good retake wall, actually. But Shopify can't do much with him. Again, it's just an SMG alongside the Marshall. Dazzle, far away. Again, just getting pressured out. Doesn't have a rifle to actually be able to wide swing with. It's just 1 by 1 as he gets an opportunity at Zelsis. I talked about the economy before. Sentinels, their economy isn't exactly stable.
Yeah, definitely a heavy hitting round from Shopify Rebellion to pull those 3 weapons out of Sentinels' hands. Ults are starting to charge up here, though, for the Sentinels camp. Zelsis in particular, only 1 off the null command, which should be looking good for Sentinels if they can get onto that ult or make an exec happen. B-Dog picking up now the operator, who was so good yesterday in the first kill department. Didn't have as many on this defensive side. On the attacking side, he was lethal. But we'll see with this operator. And I like to draw comparisons between B-Dog and his map on Fracture. A big op player. Had a lot of opping angles there on Fracture, and he's got the exact same thing here on Breeze. So if he can frag out like he did yesterday, this is going to be a rough map for Sentinels.
Started off this round. We see the op on the other side for Sentinels. So, oh my word. 10's over in mid. Not going to be able to find any opportunity. It's Mata in a 1v1. Just dry runs up in A main. He picks out 1. And it's just a lot of ground being made by Sentinels. It's the only thing they can do. But B-Dog, he reinvests into A main and Shroud is there. Yeah,
and Moose is going to have to try and get a little bit more aggressive now over towards B main. Needs to take this space back. And they've given up this mid side almost completely. Tig is playing solo here, watching tunnel for anyone to walk up and Dazzle. They are taking a lot of space back here, Shopify. And there's a chance. Dazzle, Shazam, just out of his crosshair.
And it works. The spike is down. Shroud has to battle now.
They know where the rest are coming. Tens has been spotted.
Oh! What a shot from Tens. But again, Spike is still all the way out in the open. Shroud tried for it, but Dazzle is still there.
Slowing them down almost entirely. Sentinels. Their backs against the wall over towards A main. Still, they know Tens is kind of creeping around this mid side. They don't know if he's doubled back though. Tig has rotated through the mid side, gone over in towards Talls. And they are playing very split apart. Moose does not have an angle. I lied. I lied. Because he finds Tens. Evens us to a 2v2. But that's the ult they were looking for.
Yeah, boy, did he have an angle. But there goes the Viper's pit.
Oh my.
Gives them a lot of space. But that spray was on to Dapper. Still Shroud. 64 HP, has to stand tall. Tig coming back, and it's a 1v2 for Shroudy Rowdy. Let's see it now. He just goes out and he's denied immediately. Oh, Moose. The one pump does it.
Would have much rather prefer that Shroud plays in his Viper's pit. Maybe he has a better chance. But he did take the risk, wanted to try and create an opportunity. Didn't find it. Shopify winning out the first rifle round, leading us 3-1 on this series. On the defensive side, they're finding a lot of pressure. One thing that the guard didn't do against Sentinels, that gave Sentinels a little bit more freedom on this map and playing their slow style, was there wasn't that pressure created from the guard throughout the map on the defensive side. And Sentinels were given time to work the map and find picks. Here, though, Shopify, a team that was in the past a very variable team when it came to their aggression, they picked it up against Cloud9. You saw it a lot more. They were looking for those opening duels and winning them at that.
Like you said, variable. It's not exactly that Shopify is constant at doing it, but again, their aggression comes out right when the team might need it, and especially now, a bit more training with a bit more prep. They know when to pull off the one-offs.
Full
Shopify at this point. I'm sorry.
All the way up. All the way up towards mid. Yeah, we're on the same page here. Sentinels just walking their way entirely up towards mid.
Yeah, it's just so weird. But Mata, that's such a good cone, but no one's able to actually spray at it. Tens just goes right through the wall in response. Great 1v1 against Mata. Dazzle's still looking for a player right in the middle of sight, right in the middle of Cubby. Tens is slowed, and he's getting shock darted, but he's somehow still alive. All 3 players for Sentinels safe in the middle of sight.
And there's time to reset here as well. Tens has picked up the Vandal. And same thing with Zelsis. He now has a Phantom. And he has an ultimate to play with here. They can shut down all these flashes from Tig, but they're taking the swings.
B-Dog, he gets the one for free, but Shroud is back with a classic of all things. There goes the spray from Shroud. All of them walk into his crosshair, and it's a thrifty for Sentinels.
The Phantom picked up from Zelsis' body, and he makes a quick switch. The triple swing from Sentinels, that coordination in these post-plays, something they looked so good yesterday. In taking the sights and using utility and playing together in these post-play situations. And Shroud gets the better of all 3 of these Shopify players, courtesy of the extra swings from Tens and Zelsis. A thrifty round picked up in Shopify. Reset there, and that's a big momentum swing. Sentinels can now tie things up here. Shopify will have nothing to work with. Just B-Dog on the tour de force. Mata maybe work aggressively with him, but already forced off of the play. A beautiful knife from Zelsis to keep him off the angle.
They're going to have that space to work with, but Marshall bringing out a lot back over towards that tunnel side. Again, nothing over toward that mid side, but Shopify hasn't exactly cleared it. But yet, they're leaving B and mid completely abandoned.
And they've gone all the way up into halls here. Sentinels, they're not taking the door. Not just yet. They will now. And Shopify, they have the chance to slow it down. They're giving them these 1v1s here, Sentinels.
Yeah, Tig, here he goes again. Another opportunity back over towards main, but he has a player back over in tunnels to deal with. That's Dapper alongside the rest of Sentinels that finally gets a gap in the middle of A.
Yeah, that pressure created from Sentinels over towards door will give them an opportunity. Dapper gets the res up, and well, it is pressure from B-Dog, but no kills found just yet.
Nice.
And he gets the one, but this is a done round already. Sentinels, that pressure creating towards halls, distracting the players on site, and they will tie us up here 3 for 3 unless B-Dog, well, he's magical, but a little bit ambitious to get this one.
At least tried. He showed face. But again, it was a tour de force. He just had to play out his life. Huge swing back from Sentinels.
And they're finding success in terms of the swing, getting the spike down and winning out these post-plant situations. Had great success yesterday, and so far, they have as well 2 in a row won in terms of the post-plant. Shopify will pick back up the operator for B-Dog. The full buy in their hands, and for now, Sentinels are going to lean a little bit more heavy to the B side. Typically, they want to play it slow. This time, I imagine a little more aggressive. Already a Prowler to clear. Maybe just the fake pressure. A trademark drop that looked like just to see if Shopify would push up.
All right, and Zelsis isn't exactly contacting. He's just holding for orb. And really, so is the rest of Sentinels, just holding angles.
This is quite risky. Zelsis has just escaped their view, and B-Dog in this angle lost it last time. It's closer.
Oh, and he gets it! Such an important win for Shopify. If they had just kept going just a bit more back into A main, you would have seen that they had that full control.
Yeah, and it looks like that's going to send Sentinels the other way. No A main control. You had 10s watching this angle the whole time. And there's no util in terms of a Viper to slow you down, but no Zelsis to cancel out Tig's util. This is going to be a rough hit as already Mata has arrived. And you have Tig just in the corner.
Right.
His knife as well is going to slow this down even further.
I was going to say Tiggs' knife could have a massive impact, and it did. It ends up knocking down 3 players. It waits up just another 15 seconds here. The rotations are already through. You have the Yoru over towards B. Look at this split. Sentinels, they get a body over towards mid. That's massive for Dapper. Moose has to come around on the rotation and potentially get the trade back, but Sentinels are dashing in.
And now they're slowed down even further. Tig removing Shazam, trying to make a peek, and even then, Dapper falling over towards mid as well. Shopify, just off of time, Sentinels, that just patient style has come back to bite them. Losing that first pick, and Shopify were ready. That reaction read almost perfectly. And it will be a prime giving flawless as Sentinels looking to hold on to these 2 rifles. Tens and Shroud can both make the easy drops. That one thrifty round they won really setting themselves up. And that last round as well, keeping it clean. They will have credits to buy. And they are trying to build up their economy. It's better to hold on to these rifles so you have an economic standing for the rest of this half.
Sentinels are just fine in saving the last round, though. Those last 2 players had about 4 to 5K in the bank. You would expect with that cash, actually, those players to be able to buy for maybe 1 or 2 more rounds, but
yeah,
Sentinels are fine.
Definitely think it's a little bit rough for Dapper and Zelsis, but I think with the other 3 players, they should be fine. Shroud as well, not even electing to drop Dapper, will be able to buy him moving forward. So Sentinels, no issues just yet. Early knife again is going to cash out Dapper, and he doesn't get the Prowler out. So this gives B-Dog the chance to push forward, and Dapper's not comfortable there. He doesn't know what kind of aggression. This is the first time B-Dog has been put here towards B. Sees nothing, and it's already cue to rotate from Tig.
Mata was thinking about going through the orb. Look how many players from Sentinels are here. All 5. Ready, raring to go here on A. There goes the Viper wall up. There goes the Owl drone. They got the info potentially. Mata up close, very personal. The rotations from Shopify have come in very quickly. The Yoru. He's on the front side, all 4. For Shopify, they're in pretty decent angles, but it's not exactly a crossfire.
Dapper's gone deep here again. The orb there to support
great
him.
knife.
No, there's actually no orb, but that knife catching so many players. Shopify are doing everything they can to deny this post-land situation. Dapper does find a first pick. He's deep up into halls. Is there a contest here from Tig? No. And Sentinels back away. They're playing the mind game, resetting, and it looks like they're going to re-clear back towards me, but keep in mind of the time. 30 seconds left, and VDog in a tucked angle. He can get aggressive at any moment.
With Dapper going out in mid, so here comes B-Dog. B-Dog might be able to find a rotation or two coming out towards mid, and indeed he does. He gets the first. Shazam was thinking about the peak, but he goes back with his teammates. Sentinels should have control here of B.
That trademark slowing them out even further. Tens will try and re-clear and work towards mid. B-Dog? Is he wary? I think he's heard the footsteps, and Tens has given up his life again.
So tough for Tens, but again, the footsteps give it away. B-Dog had a big opportunity at a 1v1 against Shazam, but he misses out. Tig once again, yet another knife that goes big. Tig has to check his left though. Celsius ready and raring to go. Finds the first, but will he actually get the kills? What a trade for Moose. Shroud, 1v2!
Oh!
Shroudy going rowdy in a Red Bull clutch.
Simply said, it's Shroud who pulls it out. Shopify Rebellion. They had the flash, they had everything. Shroud not caught out by the he's not phased whatsoever. And look at the encroach. Celsius, he's in a perfect spot to support Shroud. You see the cross that they have. Celsius steps forward into that Viper spin, and instantly he's got Shroud's back. He's got his 6, and Sentinels have a 4th, tying us up here against Shopify Rebellion. That's another post plant 1. Sentinels have looked so good in these post-plant situations, and they prove it once again. Backed now by a Viper Spit. They had it.
It helps when, again, Shroud, such a talented fragger, can actually fight. So here we go again. No, Shroud fully flashed, and Mata doing the same. Overwhelming Tens in the back line of A. That was a 3-man push from Shopify.
Not ready for that kind of play. Sentinels have not faced that yet against the guard, and they were not prepared for something like that against Shopify. That's what I was talking about when they were picking up the pace in terms of how fast they're getting into these rounds. And that's something Sentinel's slow style has to find a way to cope with. Welcoming in that pressure, but Shopify do it on a different metric. Switching it up every round. And that one caught Sentinels completely off guard.
Yeah, they've never tried. I mean, yes, they pushed A main, but never so aggressive and organized like that. There's no way that they would be ready.
Oh yeah, flashing through your own smoke as well. Dapper will try and get some space back. Evening the numbers. Dapper would have loved to get that frag onto Dazzle, and Sentinels,
good damage.
Literally no map control are going into this one cold turkey.
Listen, man, Shazam has a Hunter's Fury. One hit of that Hunter's Fury takes everyone away here, but wow, very good redirect.
Oh
now
my,
from the
Celsius.
TP, but Celsius just calls out Mata entirely. There's still 2 players very, very low on HP, Dazzle and Tig.
And he's using his Utsa to clear a path for Shazam. They're looking to play that postman like you were mentioning. That Hunter's Fury can be so big. There's Moose already on a flank though. And Tig and Dazzle know their roles. Stay alive.
This is such good timing.
And allow Moose to play this angle.
Oh, this is great for Moose. He's coming in at a great time. Nobody is watching this. Shazam going in with a Hunter's Fury. He didn't want to use the Hunter's Fury for post plant, but he still gets one. Moose coming in off the flank. Shazam gets the right peek, but Moose wins it out. Moose, a 1v1 to try to keep Shopify up. You have Zelsis on the other side joining the team. Just what, 2 weeks ago? Welcome to the squad. Can he solidify his place there? But no, he can't. Moose sticking a 5th for Shopify.
A second 1v2. He did it yesterday against Cloud9, and he does it here. And that's what you want in your controller. To play in a clutch like that with your util. It's not, he's not on the own where he can dance around his smokes, but works around that wall brilliantly. Shopify nabbing away a 5th round from Sentinels, who off of a 5v3 honestly made such a sweet recovery into that one and put it in a pretty favorable position. A timeout called though is they need to find a way, especially after a round like that where that aggression comes kind of unwarranted. Figure it out, sort out in this map or in the remainder of this half how to deal with that kind of switch up from Shopify.
It's impressive that, again, 2 rounds in a row we get the Vipers clutching, but more importantly, it was the utility in those post plants from those Vipers that ended up pulling that one off. Again, Shroud had a Viper's pit around him, Moose. Everything to work with on that retake, but again, Sentinels, not exactly a bad attacking half so far in terms of those initial takes. It's just those post plants that really going 50-50. I mean, Shopify, they've taken what, 2-3 retakes already?
Yeah, by the looks of it, with those 2 defusals on our timeline, Sentinels have been pretty successful in those post plants, and so the key here for Shopify is, I think, applying that pressure, getting kind of B-Dog in favorable angles where he can find that first blood where he's always been so good, and kind of giving you the early 5v4 advantage, preventing Sentinels get into those post-plant situations. That's, I think, the second retake for Shopify Rebellion, and it comes off the man advantage both times. And now Sentinels, still plenty of credits off of the economic situation a couple rounds back, are able to afford another buy, and they are fully grouped now. This is a different look for Sentinels on this fast play. Maybe not as fast as I thought.
Yeah. I was about to say fast, but I mean, honestly, they could have had that same speed, but Moose, Viper's Pit completely shuts that down.
Yeah, and it's Tig who sent a knife towards B main that caught absolutely nobody. And so that's why you see this early 4-man stack. And Viper's Pit clogging up towards mid, or apologies, A main. He does, he actually avoids it.
Wow.
He avoids the Owl Drone.
Really nicely done from Moose. There goes the Nightfall, though. Moose is going to be plugged away, so he has to use up one of his mollies. Still have the chamber behind to potentially spray away a little bit. Moose with a shotgun.
Oh my goodness.
The double pump for Moose keeps the round alive at a 3v3. The Viper's Pit is still up, and the spike is with him.
And it's Tens. Tens has to re-clear this angle with nothing more than an operator. The Headhunter can come into effect here. But
Shotgun
Moose
v
has
shotgun?
gotten a huge one. Tens.
Oh, this is so awkward. Both of them are walked in and out of the cloud, and Tens finally comes up from behind. B-Dog to the left. There goes the shotgun. B-Dog takes down one. 1v1 again. Tens looking to connect the dots. Doesn't get the headshot he wants, but
left.
still has the op. One shot to the body will do it, but Tig strikes first.
An unbelievable round between these teams. I mean, that's a great exec from Sentinels. Deafening the players on site, causing a confusion up and towards us. And then after that, it's just a Terry on top, the null command from Zelsis. But Moose, in a ridiculous position, winning out this round almost entirely. I think he's the hero of this round.
That second shot.
Honestly, the Shorties are the hero of this round. 3 of the 5 come from just Shorties. And Shopify, I have to say, get a tad lucky in that round, I'm gonna be honest.
A little bit. We were talking about the fast setup from Sentinels that got slowed down immediately. It didn't even get slowed down. They were in the right position for a fast take. They had the right utility for it, but they didn't execute it.
Oh, B-Dog.
And early on, yeah, no, it just doesn't help, right? The pistols still going up, but Tens had an opportunity. That gets shut down.
And in these man advantage situations, Shopify are good on these retakes against Sentinels. Both times they've won. They've had the opening kill. Now Sentinels have creeped their way up, using the Viper's Wall, using the Viper's Orb as well. Dazzle might have his work cut out for him. It's just pistols, but it's 2.
Oh, okay. The Classics actually overwhelm. Shroud in the front side gets one. B-Dog not able to nail his shot on the players over in Snipers, but you still have Dapper jumping around. But Shroud has the SMG, gets close, but B-Dog actually aims onto his teammate. Shroud, a 1v3, very far now, but he could find a 1v1 with the op. Indeed he does. Still has the spike and could be able to take on an even 1v2.
And he's so smart here. Shroud electing to go now to the Spectre. He's got the Viper's Pit with just a single ult orb, and he's got the spike on his back. Both these players, they're wrapping all the way around.
This?
Shroud has just duped them both. He
left.
slips back in towards mid. So much time as well to get onto the B side. So much time to set himself up. And they'll realize here soon enough, Shopify, that he's not here. Shroud has just duped them.
He went the other way? He's going the long way around, but again, surely he's gonna have time, but man.
10
He
seconds
checks his
left.
corners. 10 seconds left. Shroud is completely left Shopify scratching their heads.
And he's done this before. He's done it in this half.
Oh, yes,
Done
he
it in this
has.
map. He's done a 1v2, and he's going to try and do it again. Lines up the Viper's Pit. He's taking up so much of the right side of sight. So many angles he could be playing from around that default box. Just beyond the pillar. They have to clear everything, but they're coming from a pretty good side where they can pincer Shroud.
This is big, though. Shroud with a double molly. He could play around the Viper's Pit and play time.
Crept on through Shroud. Just outside his
Here we
walls,
go.
trying to play the game.
First person on the front lines takes him down. Viper v Viper. You had both players pulling off 1v2s round after round of each other. The Moose is the one that wins it out this time. That's huge for Shopify's half.
Giving them the guaranteed
Last
7 to
round
5
before
moving
the
forward. Shopify. 3 in a row now. Off of the 1v2 that Shroud could have pulled off. It doesn't happen. Sentinels need some magic in their camp to bring us to a 5th. Keeping this map close is kind of the goal here. Can't let it slip away once you get to the defensive side. I mean, Tens has been not looking too hot in terms of first kills. And when you're doing up against a guy like B-Dog, when you switch sides, that's where I get a little worried. That's why I'm worried that Sentinels don't have enough momentum to carry them through into that second half.
Gonna have to come down to those defensive
progression.
setups. But again, you always had Shopify clearing out B main round after round. This time, You do get more of a coverage for it, man-wise.
It's a little more aggressive here. B-Dog is taking up all of halls here with the operator of the Tour de Force. And he's got no rendezvous to get out, so he's playing a pretty risky game here. They have the no command for this retake, and I think that's why Shopify kind of playing offside. B-Dog's positioning is crucial on this retake. He's got such a nice angle coming in from that door. And Sentinels bring that wall up, but not exactly execing. Parallel walls on this A side. And look at Mata. A trademark will spot him out here, but B-Dog is looking to help him out.
Shroud needs this. B-Dog is thinking about that peek out, but again, can they only depend on B-Dog? Oh no! Mata's gonna get this info on Shroud. Wait, did he just run by Shroud? And B-Dog, yeah, he absolutely just runs by Shroud, gets the information, and here comes Mata, still running into the middle of A, and TP's out with more info. 30 seconds left, Spike still hasn't gone down. Moose in the back line gets overwhelmed. There goes the clone, and here comes Mata, but he gets sprayed down still by Dapper. Great stuff from Dapper, and Shazam is there for still the kill onto Tig. One player remaining. It's unreal that B-Dog watches all of his teammates go down in an instant. Sentinels was slipping out of their hands for a second there, but A is theirs.
And Sentinels, a miraculous recovery there to close out the half at 7-5. How did they get it done there? All the info for Shopify Rebellion, but we are as close as you can get outside of a 6-6. Sentinels have a chance in the second half. Similar scenes to Sentinels versus the Guard. It was a 7-5 half, but it was in favor of Sentinels. And now they're on the defensive side, the side they struggled against the Guard, and Shopify Rebellion having that early lead and showing that maybe the Yoru could work out. Mata's been not instrumental in their success, but has been a very key player in these quick rotates. We'll see how they work it here on the attack and what openers he can find.
Yeah, this is really where, again, the pick is going to have to make or break Shopify. Because, again, easily you could slot in a Neon, a Jet, that could be so much more valuable on the attacking side, so much faster in taking map control. Here we go. It's going to be the wall up alongside the easy plant.
Oh, Shazam already nicking one out here on the spam through the wall, and even a little bit more. Tig down to just 22. Quick damage here done by Sentinels.
So now it's just slim pickings here for some of these players from Shopify. They have to go back. They have to find some space. Dapper closes into space and takes down two. You still have Tig. Tig and Moose. Such low HP for Tig, and he's still somehow battling back. Moose had to come to the rescue, though, with the two. And Sentinels, Tens, and Shazam, there is no way they're going to lose that.
And that's the lead. Almost immediately dissipated there for Shopify Rebellion. Granted, yesterday they looked good in the anti-ecos against Cloud9. Sentinels looked good. Oh, apologies. Shopify looked good in their eco rounds, and Sentinels looked pretty good in their anti-ecos. So I imagine we're going to have a tight scoreline here. Shopify, not a team that likes to force in these second rounds, but I think given the scoreline here, they want to see if they can extend the lead with just Marshals. This map is so prone to that Marshal play, and they will invest into one, that being Dazzle. The rest will be a supporting cast of pistols. See if you can set B-Dog up with his Headhunter and kind of have him be the catalyst to winning out this round.
Yeah, it's funny. Dazzle's really the only moment of this game thus far that we've really seen him was, of course, early on in the first half with that Marshal. Still feeling sharp. He could have a couple targets back over towards that mid side. You do have Shopify going back towards the B side, though.
Yeah, that wall coming up is going to keep Tens, and Zealous is trying to just poking and prodding towards mid. Shazam is going to clear out Moose. He has the information and honestly should have the kill here. Shock Dart. Moose doesn't have any armor, but Moose ends up denying him. And that's two already. Shopify winning out these first duels. And that sends Sentinels reeling. Yes, they've got the firepower, but now they're kind of losing it.
Yeah, now this is so awkward for all these players from Sentinels. Where did he even go? Do they fight? Yes, they do. Tens and Shroud alone both find 1v1s, but there goes Tens. Here comes Dapper. Dapper needs to split his attention to mid. B-Dog coming in. Could save the round still, but he uses the last shot of his Headhunter right when Dapper swings. Honestly, unlucky, but he should have saved that last shot.
Yeah, but that one is a little bit too close, thankfully. Sentinels having Shazam on a pistol. Same thing with Tens on the Headhunter. They can reinvest into rifles. But it's not the bonus situation you're looking for Sentinels going forward. They are getting a little bit more aggressive, though. That mid-wall drawing those two players in. It's a good showing for Sentinels. At least changing up what they did against the Guard. Kind of being a little bit unpredictable and a little bit less readable to Shopify Rebellion.
Shopify's not exactly going into one uniform location, though. But at least give Sentinels an easy hold. take up that mid control fairly quickly.
Yeah, that knife catching one player is going to keep Sentinels from rotating instantaneously. As I say that, Dapper has elected to make a pretty early shift off this Al drone from Dazzle. Maybe to work back towards mid. Halls is kind of an open area. They only have the trademark there to mark. Nothing really else. And Shopify taking quite the space here towards A. Look at the setup Sentinels have. Waiting for that knife to come online and shutting down both the KO and the Viper is going to be big. Otherwise, this hit comes to a grinding halt once those mollies come out.
This is such a weird hold here for Sentinels, though. They have two players very close, but Dazzle coming in from mid. This is a big angle that he could have gotten two with, but that's a massive flash from Zelsis. He jumps up, he takes up a second. Still Tig fighting back from main. Zelsis on the right side of sight, getting pinched out. He's down to 49 HP, but he's still somehow getting kills. Mata and Moose, the last two remaining. They do have a couple targets in the back of sight, but it's Mata all alone. There goes the wide swings from Shopify. The lineup might have actually worked. Zelsis is down to 9 HP. Mata just needs a body shot on him, but Tens, no way he's gonna miss an opportunity like that. Just a gust of wind would have taken down Mata. An 8th run for Sentinels. They stay in the lead.
Keeping 3 in a row here, Sentinels bringing us back into the Sentinels camp. And Shopify, I mean, you can see here the split between these players. Look back towards A main. All 3 of them. That's a clone that you're looking on the minimap. That's Mata's clone, and they do not get out. I was mentioning it. Tig's knife need to shut down these Molly players, but it doesn't. Only catching, I think it was... I don't even think it actually caught Shroud. It caught no one. So Zeltz is able to get the Molly out. Shroud as well, able to delay with the Poison Orb. It's a rough round for Shopify Rebellion as those 2 players coming from mid are going to get full focus by the 4 players on site. And Eco here again, Shopify with 3 Marshals to work with. And a knife and a Prowler clearing out B main, but still Sentinels are putting players here to duel.
Oh yeah, this is all this round is for Sentinels, especially with the Marshals. Everyone's just looking for 1v1s. Here's this from Tig. As an opportunity at Zelsis.
Sentinels not willing to give up those peaks. They know that these Marshals can get snowball effect into a round win. B-Dog has wiggled his way up halls. Not able to find anything though. There's a Prowler, again, clearing out B, just checking for anyone at the mouth, and Tens peeking out towards mid, shutting down Mata, and there's a timing for B-Dog.
Okay. Yeah, no, timing for Shroud at least to take down B-Dog, that was.
Info off the drone, gives it a free kill.
Oh, Dapper gets spotted off the jump peak.
Imagine he hit that, Moose.
If Moose has that sort of reaction time, again, I wouldn't doubt it. He's been insane the last few days, but he's not going to have many opportunities at this round. There goes Sentinels, bolstering the lead. More importantly, again, the economy staying clean, something that we just didn't see from either one of the 2 teams in the first half. A
timeout called here. Imagine by the Shopify side. They have been pretty lackluster when it comes to getting these first kills. B-Dog looked pretty good, but so far in this series, 4-3 in the 5v4s. A little bit too close of a margin. And I think for Sentinels, they are feeling happy. 4v5s already won when they're in the man disadvantage. And that was one of the, I guess, pluses to their style, even though Shopify a little bit more aggressive than Sentinels, but with that aggression, Sentinels are easily able to reset. You've got 3 initiators that can re-clear and take space, and now on the defensive side can retake the sites with so much util dumps. So Sentinels in the first half and in the second, dominating that statistic in those 4v5s, recovering almost perfectly most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, if Shopify were running any other duelist, we should start talking about the effective mid and how Sentinels has a lot of utility to be able to retake that space. But with the Yoru, I mean, we've seen so much more spread coverage from Shopify and no exact pinpoint pressure into mid. It's always just been, again, staying towards their back lines. Now they're playing for picks or trying to get some flanks and rotations going.
Now B-Dog has a rifle in his hand. We'll see how good he can be here in the first kills. He's been so important for Shopify's success, and they will creep up now in towards Hall. Shazam as an ultimate here. If he gets a tag, I mean, this could spell doom for both B-Dog and Tig, and he does. He might pop it here. Doesn't elect to. It's a KO ultimate and a cleanup into this A site, as it is just Tens getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, no, Tens is scrambling, and he just runs into the crosshairs of Dazzle. Well done, Mata. Completely overwhelming Tens, but the rotation for Sentinels Hasn't exactly been completed.
But it was B-Dog. B-Dog was the one that went down, and that means no trademark, that means no flank watch, and that means Zealous is open the door for Sentinels. They're just delaying here, Sentinels. The rest of these players trying to draw attention.
Whoa. Moose, he's gonna be going for the flank watch. Oh, if Moose goes down there goes the Viper's Pit, but Moose stays alive. Viper's Pit still up, still a 3v3. Mod as sharp as ever, 18 HP, still dancing around. But there goes the shock dart, takes him back out dry. And Moose has ran so far away that the Viper's Pit has gone down, but he's still on the flank. Dazzle peeking out of A main, helping out, and Moose comes in at the perfect time for mid. Very coordinated for Shopify.
And it's the first time they get the spike down, and it's their first round win here on the attacking side. Maybe the big win condition is getting that spike down, but this is set forward. This round is set forward by the ultimates. Ten's not able to get out. It's Mata putting so much pressure with these flashes, and it's a free pick there for Dazzle. But 3 ultimates used to win out this round, not something that you can replicate every single time, and Sentinels have got the cash to have another buy round here. And this is the real test for Shopify. You don't have the catalyst of these ultimates. Sentinels have them instead. Celsius with his null command. And he's been so good with his util. We'll catch 2 players towards A. Prowler now clears B main. This is a lot of space for Sentinels and a lot of early information.
Yeah, again, this wall. So much mystery for these players of Shopify without using utility to re-clear elbow. There goes the Prowler, though. They do pull out a flash to try to clear elbow. Again, nobody up mid for Sentinels, still holding up their back lines. They're not even contacting B main.
It is a one-way hit. Not like you said, nothing in towards mid. The wall's gone up. It slowed them down. Wall for themselves has gone up as well. We'll see how they can delay. And these mollies from Shroud are perfect. Gets them both out before he gets nullified.
TP into the back. Dapper holding back Mata, though. And here comes Shroud. The big combo between Dapper and Shroud going massive. 3 kills going their way with Shroud getting both of them. And Dapper with a triple in the back lines. Double digits for Sentinel. Shopify had no chance going through B.
Yeah, no chance at all. The mollies coming out from Shroud, one at the mouth of B main, one at the entrance over towards elbow as you swing towards L left. But this feels a little bit uncoordinated coming out from the rest of Shopify Rebellion. Mata has been trying to find space, trying to be a big entry on both the defensive and attacking side, but he's 1 in 5 for first kills and first stats. A horrible ratio for what you want to be a big entry into these sides. And Shopify are not being given that space. He's not able to generate that duelist power that you want from your entry player.
Anti-eco now for Sentinels. Something that they haven't lacked on. And the anti-ecos have been going fully their way so far this game, but this is a little weird now. Shroud with the Viper's Pit hold. He's putting all of this effort into this now. The spray could work out so well for him, and indeed it does. The transfer gets 3. B-Dog and Moose trying to get into sight. They still have the Tour de Force to work with, and now they restrict it actually to a 3v2. Moose getting revealed. The nade's gonna go out for Zelsis, and Zelsis is in such a difficult position. He has to peek the back of sight, and Shazam is gonna be there to take him out, and takes down B-Dog too. 11 for Sentinels. This next round for Shopify is so big.
Yep. Could be their last rifle round here. At least their last full buy. And Shroud, of course, locking it down here in the Viper's Pit, fighting through, nearly getting 4. B-Dog just off camera. I think
somehow
even
it was
the line
B-Dog
of
that
sight of
got
both
it.
of them ends up taking them down, and that will be Sentinels into 11. 7 rounds in this second half, and Shopify have failed to get them down, get the spike down 6 times. Their only round win is off of that
Only
spike
once.
plant in round number 4 of the second half.
That's unreal. Shopify only able to get that spike down once. Sentinels' defense doing so good in the middle of these sites, but there goes the mid control.
Slight switch up, yes. Shopify now on the right front, taking up towards mid. Zelsis.
Oh,
That is
Zelsis, no, he flashes
perfect
himself.
utility.
No, he flashes himself, but the nade is so good. Zelsis. Okay, half perfect, yes. Okay, sure, I'll take it. Zelsis can still fight, still has a rifle, and the Ultra gets pulled out. The Sova has no idea. This is just Zelsis' playground. Tig trying to run away, and Zelsis actually lets him go, but still a 2v5, and Tig tries to run the other way amid, and Tens takes him down through the double doors. This round is over. Moose is just contemplating whether or not to hold on to the Vandal.
Once again, another failed attempt at a spike plant. Shopify shut down towards mid. Sentinels have got their number, reading that Viper's wall almost perfectly. The pressure there, the fade, the haunt to get the info. And seriously, Sentinels, are looking so good. This is their comfort pick. They looked great yesterday against the guard. Down to the narrowest of margins, and whatever mistakes they had, whatever mistakes they felt they had on the defensive side, they've cleaned every single aspect of it up. That's what Shazam was talking about. Saying that they felt their defensive side was a little bit choppy. Well, I'm gonna be completely honest. It's so clean. 8 rounds now, and the spike has only gone down once.
Match point.
And this is a return to form a little bit now for Sentinels. This looks a bit more comfortable than their guard threes yesterday, 2 days ago. Here
Now
we go.
on map point for Sentinels. And look at the buy. You mentioned it. Shopify, a critical round in the last. I've got almost nothing. Sentinels dominating now the first kills on this offensive side. Something that it felt they were lacking yesterday. The Justice and Dapper combined just in this map alone have been dominating the first kills. 20 rounds played, and they account for 8 of those first kills.
Almost half of the rounds, those two players going absolutely massive with the first kills. Shopify this time taking mid control early with that TP from Mata, but they still have to take control of Shazam.
Is it control though? Mata's just tucked himself in a corner. They don't know anything else. They have mid control and nothing really here to play with. No ults except for Moose's Viper Speed, but that Viper Speed is only continued if you get on site, and they have failed to get on site multiple times. So Sentinels holding tight. Zealous is watching this mid side. The op from 10's watching deep towards B main. This hold from Sentinels has held steadfast multiple times, and you have 3 players hearing down towards mid. Dapper, Shazam, and Zealous, the 3 initiators with the util to slow it down as well.
And just a reminder again, there's no smokes for Shopify to realistically stack sites. The next take that this team has to either come from mid, or it has to be an all-out war.
And they're regrouping. Back towards this A side. They're going to get Moose towards A main where he can pop that ultimate, but it is, again, contingent if you can even get out. Shroud and Zelsis here with the util, but Zelsis isn't going to delay. Instead, it's the Molly. The Molly pushing them into the open. Shroud, of course, to close it down, but it's a 3v3.
Oh, Shroud keeps it going. A second kill back for Shroud, but Shopify again. New players alive, keeping things even for now, but Dapper finds one out in the open. Moose on 1v2, has Viper's pit, but he just swings out anyways. Dapper, Sentinels, confirming out map number 1 over Shopify.
Yeah, and I mean, in a tricky position, Moose has been so good in the 1v2s, but he's not able to get it there. A very difficult decision to pop the